Hi, I'm Laura Hoy for Benzinga, and here's a look at what you can expect from the markets today, Tuesday, September 10. The suggestion that Syria turn over its chemical weapons to international regulators could be a non-violent solution to the crisis in Syria. President Obama has said that the proposal, backed by Russia, could keep the U.S. from intervening with a military strike. The president is expected to be discussing the matter all day on Tuesday with lawmakers in Washington before addressing the American public on Tuesday night. The Japanese Prime Minister has called on the country's economic and finance ministers to put together a stimulus package that would help the Japanese economy cope with a planned sales tax increase. Although the Japanese government hasn't yet decided whether or not to increase the country's sales tax at the end of the year, recent economic indicators have supported the case for a sales tax increase at the end of the year. On September 23rd, the SEC is planning to lift a ban that prevented privately held businesses from asking for funding and investment through advertisements. The ban has been in place for 80 years, and many regulators fear that loosening the rules could open the door for scams and fraud. On Wednesday, Verizon is set to hold the largest ever debt sale. The sale is expected to raise $20 billion, which will go towards the company's $130 billion buyout of its U.S. wireless joint venture partner, Vodafone. On Monday, the UK's Chancellor of the Exchequer, George Osborne, claimed the economy was turning a corner. He defended his government's austerity policies and highlighted the importance of continuing with tax hikes and spending cuts in order to close the nation's budget gap. As tension between the West and Syria eased, Asian markets rallied. The Japanese Nikkei was up 1.54%, the Shanghai Composite was up 1.15%, and the Shenzhen Composite was up 0.77%. Indonesia's JSX Composite was up 3.19%, and the Hang Seng Index was up 0.84%. European markets were up across the board on Tuesday. The UK's FTSE was up 0.77%, the Stoxx 600 was up 0.97%, the German DAX was up 1.37%, and the Spanish IBEX was up 1.22%. Energy futures tumbled as military action in the Middle East became less likely. Brent futures lost 0.40%, WTI futures were down 0.71%, gold lost 0.66%, and silver was down 1.51%. In currency markets, the dollar lost ground against the euro and traded at $1.32 to 1 euro. The yen lost 0.45% against the dollar and reached the 100 yen to $1 mark. The pound gained 0.04% against the dollar, and the rupee continued to strengthen, gaining 1.49% against the dollar. NRG Energy lost 5.09% in pre-market trade after gaining 1.3% on Monday. Citigroup was up 0.20% in pre-market trade after reports that the FDIC was selling $2.4 billion in bonds sold by the bank during the 2008 financial crisis. Bank of America gained 0.14% in pre-market trade despite reports that the company is planning to cut 2,100 jobs and close 16 mortgage offices. Notable earnings reports today include Pep Boys, Unilife Corporation, and Christopher & Banks Corporation. On Tuesday's economic calendar, we saw Chinese industrial production and retail sales, as well as Australian consumer sentiment data. Still to come is French industrial production data, Italian GDP, Canadian housing starts, and Norwegian CPI and core inflation data. And that's it for today's Market Primer. I'm Laura Hoy for Benzinga. Good luck and happy trading!